Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by the SGPN app. The SGPN app is completely free to download and home to all of your favorite SGPN podcast contests and picks. Just type SGPN app in your app store today to download America's #1 DGen app.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old Fashioned Football.
Make this deal right now, you pancake eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at JMarkFootball, and you can find us at Old Fashioned FB. We are live on Instagram successfully. Those bastards still have a hold of my Facebook, but we will take that back eventually. Before I keep going, I got to introduce my partner on the pod and in life. You can call her Mur. You can find her on the X at the Mur Mark. Mur, how you doing today?
I'm doing great.
It's our Friday.
It is our Friday, which...
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it was a struggle to get here.
Yes.
It feels like we worked more than a full week this week. I should say, it feels like I've worked more than a full week. It just has been more than a full week.
It's been a week.
It's
been a week. It's like, if you can imagine how your car would be if the tires were square. And that's how we just rolled in to this podcast. Just and it dies. Our square tires are shot, and here we are. But you know what? We got whiskey. We got fantasy football semifinals.
It's
semifinals. You like them?
Yeah.
I thought of a good one today, but I'm saving it for our 100th episode, which is coming up January 3rd. Make sure you tune in. We already have some guests lined up.
It'll be a good time.
Some friendly faces. Are you ready for the semifinals?
As ready as I'm going to be, Justin.
Well, I guess fair enough. Yeah, it's coming up. The Saints and the Rams play tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting matchup because the Rams have been on fire, but that Saints defense is good. And yeah, we're going to talk about sit starts. If you have questions, make sure you throw them in the chat. We'll answer them, whether that's on Instagram or on YouTube. We can't see your comments on the X, so head on over to YouTube. I am posting the link from our Twitter now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so bad at doing two things at once. You probably know this.
I know this. This is. I am like a professional multitasker. You are.
It depends what it is.
I don't know what.
When I'm trying to think of what to talk about on this, and I'm trying hard not to say and stall and all that stuff, then I'm bad at it. But I remember back in the day when I was playing video games, chatting with people on AIM, texting on the phone. That I just aged myself by saying chatting on AIM. Is that an age thing?
I mean, wasn't that the OG? That's the OG of
yeah, it was.
Chat.
It was the OG of Quat.
Of Quat?
Of chat.
You need to stop multitasking right now.
I have a headache.
So your headache makes you say Quat?
Yeah, well, maybe it's a tumor. I don't know.
It's not a tumor. Okay,
thank you. A little. You pulled back on that a little bit.
A little bit.
Wanted.
I know you wanted the full-out Arnold Schwarzenegger coming out of my mouth, and it just is not going to happen.
Shout out to the chat. Josiah says, "Woo!" and my mom says, "Bragger still in the playoffs in the family league. He is. He beat me. He was lucky that I did not set my lineup appropriately."
Josiah.
You're lucky, Josiah.
He had the opportunity to beat you had he listened to me.
Yeah. Who wants to say, well, I won because I listened to my wife?
Do you know who listened to me?
Josiah.
I gave you both advice on that matchup, and I set you both up to succeed. Yes. If you listened to me, one of you didn't listen to me.
You didn't fully give the info. You said, well, maybe. I don't know
Well,
how.
I told you I didn't like it, and you had a decision
You
to
weren't
make.
firm on it.
I know, but my gut was telling you Saquon, and then I said, well, he is a stud, and you start your studs, but my gut was Saquon, and if you would have sat Saquon, you'd be in a much different position.
Also, Caleb wants to know Stafford or Love. Stafford, I think that offense has been clicking. Jordan Love against the Panthers is a tough matchup.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Saints are a tough matchup as well, but I just feel like the Rams offense has been clicking a lot better than the Packers offense. Packers could be without Christian Watson still. They could be without Jaden Reed. I wholeheartedly think you got to go Stafford in that.
I have to agree with you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I know.
By the way, I'm looking at our drinks here that you made.
Yes.
And flashback to Tuesday. Sorry, we did our show on Tuesday.
Yes.
With how wrinkly they were. Not as wrinkly.
No, the
tonight.
top of the jar cherries are the wrinkly ones.
Yes.
These are still mammoth-sized cherries.
They are big.
They're huge.
They're large and in charge, but they don't look as testicular today. I posted a photo of our cherries onto the work chat during we had a little holiday happy hour today.
Yeah,
not really a happy hour. I was
on
the
our
only
lunch
one
break
drinking
today, because we took a lunch break for the first time together in forever. It seems like that hasn't happened in months. And I have asked you, are you gonna have a busy afternoon? And you're like, well, I do have one meeting. And then he's like, it's our holiday happy hour. Yeah, that's not a meeting, Justin.
Yeah, and okay, so I don't understand why they called it a happy hour and there was nobody drinking but me. But my whiskey was on ice. I wasn't going to let it get watered down. So there I was just drinking by myself. Thanks, work. Anyways, I posted a picture
Who wants a dry happy hour?
of our cherry. And immediately somebody was like, do we need to report you to HR? What is this? There were some questions.
They were weird cherries, but if they were the top of the jar, I don't know what happened to them, but
I'll tell you what else got brought up. Getting oofed.
Oofed?
You know this from our nephew Aiden.
Mm-hmm.
Oofed means dying.
Dying in
usually in video games.
Video games, or wasn't it a cartoon too?
No, he was watching
the YouTubers.
YouTube. Yes.
Professional children getting paid more than me to play video games on YouTube.
Yes. Hey, you know what? That's okay. That's a dream. I wish I could get paid to play video games. But anyways, that got brought up and it made me think of Aiden, and somebody, Danny, who you know, said that she thinks about 13 different things that are not death when somebody would say, I'm going to go get oofed, or I'm getting oofed, or of the sorts. So yeah, when we were all saying goodbye and our boss, John, was saying happy Friday, she said, let's all go get oofed. Anyways.
All right.
What are you looking at over there? Are you ready? You ready with some stats? You got your
I'm looking at my lineups.
You're looking at your lineups. Okay, that's fair. Do you want to start the injury report, or do you want me to while you look at your?
No, I've got this.
All right.
I've got it. Quarterbacks for you guys. CJ Stroud expected out with a concussion for the second week in a row. This does impact me. Trevor Lawrence, he is questionable with a concussion. Will Levis still has an ankle injury, questionable, and I'm assuming he's out. And then Zach Wilson, concussion, questionable.
Yeah, I was not laughing at when you said Trevor Lawrence has a question. I saw your computer all of a sudden say draw to snip, and I was very confused what you were doing over there. What are you doing? Are you trying to snip stuff, or you're drawing something?
The
What's
Insta
happening?
Stuff is weird over here. So.
Yeah. Is it distracting you?
A little bit.
I'm curious, if you have a phone nearby and you're not watching us on your phone, go to Insta and tell me what it looks like. Tell me if it's coming through all right.
It's delayed.
Yeah, I figured their stream is probably delayed too. That's
this is extra delayed.
Extra delayed. I'm going to talk about running backs. Jonathan Taylor is back. Broken thumb, be damned. He is back, which is good because Zach Moss has an arm injury and he's questionable. And then Ramondre Stevenson, he's questionable with that ankle injury. That's really going to affect the people that have been relying on Zeke the past couple weeks.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about wide receivers? Yeah. I figured you'd take them.
Tonight, Olave is in. Thank you. And Jamar Chase, that separated shoulder, AC sprain, he is out.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman for the Colts has a concussion. He's likely going to be out.
I just saw right before we went live, he practiced and there was not a no contact jersey. So maybe he will play.
Really?
That hit was just vicious.
Oh, I was
don't-
not anticipating him to be in.
Same. I wasn't either.
All right. And Keenan Allen, unfortunately, is out.
Out again. Tight
Yeah.
ends.
I was going to say, we didn't have any tight end injuries earlier, a couple days ago, but there is now.
Yeah. Hunter Henry had left the game with a knee injury,
Mhm.
but it seemed like he was going to be okay. He's been downgraded to questionable with that knee injury. So we got a question. Andrew will answer your question in just a little bit. But before we do, I got to let you know that we're brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is easy to win money for the football season. And with the basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, you could take Kobe White plus Cole Kmet if he plays. He's questionable, but I'm sure he's going to play. At a 10.5 combo of 3 points made plus receptions, and you can play along people like Meek Mill, that's a rapper, I guess. Comedian Andrew Schultz. You can find their plays under Community Plays. And this week on Prize Picks for tonight's game, I got some for Saturday's game too, but let's go Matthew Stafford, more than 224.5 pass yards. Cooper Kupp, more than 49.5 receiving yards. James Cook, more than 20.5 receiving yards. Josh Allen, more than 24.5 rushing yards. And Alvin Kamara, more than 49.5 yards. Price Picks, they even offer a reboot policy. So if you take one of those guys and let's say Alvin Kamara gets banged up, doesn't come back in the second half, they reboot it. They're the only daily fantasy sports with an insurance injury policy. You can set your lineup in less than 60 seconds to get your entry in, and it's just based off of player projections. That's all you got to do. It is easy. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN and use code SGPN for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN, code SGPN. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. We are back. You ready to answer a question?
Yes.
All right. Chris Olave or Brandon Ayuk, PPR? You want me to start or would you like to start?
Go ahead. I have a.
So my gut jumps at Ayuk because they have been so solid. However, they do go against one of the best defenses in the league in the Baltimore Ravens.
And I do think that Olave has an easier matchup against
the Rams. I do as well. It's still a tough, it's sort of a tough matchup, but I guess not really. It's nowhere close to facing the Ravens, that's for sure. So something's going on with this mouse here. I can't get it to work at all. But anyways, I just think the Olave has a chance of having a better game. Plus, I know he was out last week. I know he's got that ankle injury. He was cleared in very quickly this week. So I think he's 100%. They're playing for the playing to try to get into the playoffs. They're playing for the division. They got to try to win these games so that the Bucs don't steal the division from them. I think you got to go Chris Olave.
That was my gut before I let you speak.
All right.
But I just think he has a better matchup.
Yeah.
And
that
he's back, and I know I'm starting him.
That Ravens 49ers game on Christmas night is going to be a really intense game, I think. It's going to be a dogfight. I wouldn't be surprised if it was actually a lower scoring game, if I could talk. Thanks, Andrew, for checking in. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, all that stuff.
Get that.
Josiah says, what are some good wide receivers I can pick up for Amari Cooper? You're going to have to elaborate on ones you're eyeballing.
Well, and are you talking about the family league?
He is, but let's make him work a little bit.
Oh, you're not even gonna have
a good wide receiver to
the
pick
conversation
up
with
for
him
is Justin Jefferson, but he's probably not available. So you're gonna have to give me some more information.
He wants wide receivers.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to bench Amari Cooper. He had a really good game against the Bears, which I know you say, oh, the Bears, because you're a Bears hater. They have been the second-ranked defense in the league the past 5 weeks. They've been very tough against the pass, and Cooper did really well.
Throw somebody out on the waivers, okay? Right. Can we talk about Jackson Smith-Njigba?
He just hasn't been super high scoring.
He just came off of a good game last week.
What did he score against the Eagles? Because he did have that last second touchdown. He scored over 14 points
against the Eagles.
Yeah, last second touchdown though.
They go against Tennessee, which is 27th against the wide receiver position.
Sure. He is the third in the option, or third option in that offense. That worries me for replacing a guy like Amari Cooper.
Well, I mean,
Who's the top
if you're
option.
talking about picking somebody up in our family league, it's slim pickings.
It is. But would you start Amari Cooper?
I would start Amari
or JSN?
Amari Cooper.
Right. Yeah.
But
that's
if he doesn't want to, I'm not going to advise him to. Who does he play? Who is he facing?
He plays his mother, I believe, or your mother.
Oh,
I don't remember.
You want to go pick up JSN?
Scroll to the bottom. Give him somebody from the bottom. You want to get Jonathan Mingo.
Gabe Davis is looking great. He against that matchup with the Chargers.
Watch Gabe Davis have a really good game. I, of course, forgot to move our little clicker. Go figure.
How dare you?
If you got questions, throw them in. I'm
just telling everybody, I'm not really if you're just joining and you hear the Gabe Davis, like, depends on how deep you are maybe in your league, but
that's what she said.
We're giving some.
She's trying to sabotage is what she's doing here. Josiah, she's trying to sabotage you. I was trying to be helpful by telling
Were you?
Yeah, I think that, look at that. I joined us live. And there we are. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Can you get with it? Can you just get with it?
Nobody told me if it was working or not. I had to check it because the people didn't come through. Anyways, let's talk about start sits. Can we just jump right to that?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We got a busy night ahead of us. First of all, before that, we didn't really go over this. You're in the semifinals in a couple leagues, correct?
Dynasty.
Who are you banking on having a big game? Like, tell me one player that you're a little nervous about, but you just want them to pop off and make you look brilliant. You know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, but there are leagues where, like, I throw people in thinking not a lot of people would do this, but I'm hoping this guy pops off for a big one.
Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Oh, because you have terrible quarterback luck in that league.
Yes. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer for Christmas.
There you go. I like it. I like it. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I know, but you are, and that is who I am throwing in there and really hoping, because I need some help. I've been doing great in this league all season. Obviously, I'm here, and my quarterbacks have failed me. I've been picking up a quarterback every week on the waivers for the last couple of weeks to throw in that flex. And this week, Rudolph is going in there.
And sometimes you've had to not have quarterbacks, haven't you? I thought you had a wide receiver in there at one point.
That was in the Pirate.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Okay. No, maybe it was this.
Anyways.
I'm in a couple super flexes.
For me, in Nick's league, I need Chris Olave to have a good game tonight. Andrew, you were just talking about Olave or Ayuk. I need Chris Olave to have a really big game tonight. I have solid wide receivers, but that's a league where I hope he pops off and has 2 touchdowns, 100 yards would be amazing.
I would love for Sam Laporta to just have his best game.
Well, he's coming off a 3 touchdown game.
I know. Let's make it 4.
4.
Woo. I want him to have
against
4.
The Vikings.
We're talking about Nick's league here.
Yeah.
I need to do well.
We are the 1 and 2 seed, and I really want us to meet in the championship.
I go against Kirk this week, and I'm planning on.
I go against his fiance, ironically. So the Marks versus Fords, and it's going to be an intense one for both of us, I feel like. But if we face each other in the championship for that championship belt, there's going to be a lot of shit talking. Somebody is going to be very upset.
How dare you?
Oh, did you go towards me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about starts. We're going to do it a little different. Normally, we each throw out a player we think is going to have a good game. We're going to go through the guys that play the top 5 or the bottom 5, I should say. They have the best 5 matchups. And then we're going to talk about are all of them startable? Would you sit any of them? Things like that.
All right. I'm going to
cover.
Yes, I got quarterbacks covered. So, again, like you said, top 5 quarterbacks considering the matchup. And then we're going to break that down for you. Number 1, I've got Zach Wilson versus the 32nd ranked Commanders. Then we have Tommy DeVito against the 31st ranked Eagles. Josh Allen against the Chargers. Baker Mayfield against the Jags. And Justin Fields against the Cardinals. And I'm just going to throw out a little bonus here too.
Bonus alert.
Joe Flacco.
Joe fucking Flacco.
I know, we've been talking about him way too much. Against the 21st ranked Texans. Doesn't follow the order here, but I'm throwing this out there. But anyway.
I like that. I mean, and Josiah, we just talked about Amari Cooper. That's who he will be throwing the ball to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think you've got to start Amari. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you don't, because if you're going against my mom, you should probably think about sitting him.
Okay.
So out of these, I think some obvious starters are Justin Fields and Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you going to start? So let's look at like Zach Wilson against the Commanders, the worst defense.
Yeah.
He's going against.
I mean, I think the Commanders have basically given up on Ron Rivera.
Mm-hmm.
But can you trust Zach Wilson to win you a championship or get you to
he
the
has
championship?
The best matchup he could have.
Yeah, and we don't trust him.
But I don't. If I'm in the semifinals here or championship, wherever you're at in your playoffs, I'm not relying on Zach Wilson to get me there.
And he may be concussed, so this may be Trevor Siemian that we're talking about. But either way, I don't think I trust that offense to put up a lot of points as far as fantasy football goes at all. What about Tommy DeVito against the Eagles?
Tommy DeVito.
I say no. I know it's a rivalry game. I know he had played well, but I think it's starting to fall off a little bit. I mean,
what are you playing well? He's been up and down. He has not been consistent.
Right. Well, the agent's showing up in his green suits with the green hat, and it's getting overplayed.
It's media driven for him.
Yeah.
And now Baker Mayfield against the Jags.
100% playing Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
Baker Mayfield has been really on fire. In fact, his comeback player of the year odds have gone up because he's been playing so well. Now, that's obviously something they're probably going to give to Damar Hamlin, which I have mixed feelings on. It's great that Damar Hamlin survived, obviously, after dying on the football field, but I think he's only been active one game. So it's really hard to give the comeback player of the year award to a player that he didn't really play, Anyways.
No, he's coming off of his fantasy-wise best game.
Yeah. Oh, Mayfield?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was lighting it up. He finally started finding Chris Godwin, who sat on my bench and scored his 25.5 points. After having a very mediocre year, Caleb dropped him. I picked him up. So before we talk about running backs, let's jump in and answer a question here from, I hope I pronounce your name properly. If I don't, I apologize. But Ishan Patel, I'm going to go with that. Ty or Palmer for flex PPR? I'm going to assume that's Ty Chandler and Joshua Palmer. If it's not, correct me. I'm going to go Ty Chandler.
I was just going to say, we just got done talking about Ty Chandler on Tuesday and his upside. And I'm going to say something. I gave him as a double, for sure this week when we talked about,
starts
for this week.
Yeah.
Being a bonus for going forward.
Right. He's got a tough matchup this week, but tough against the run. This is a guy that's catching well out of the backfield. He's playing well. He's running efficiently. So I don't think it's going to really hold him back, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm definitely going.
And I don't trust Joshua Palmer with Easton Stick throwing to him against a Bills defense that's playing their ass off. The Bills team, we were all wondering, are they even going to make the playoffs? Now they're looking like one of the best teams in the AFC outside of the Ravens, in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see. Should we talk about, and thanks for checking in, Ishan, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps us. Leave reviews on Spotify or Apple. All of it helps. Should we talk running backs?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to go with, here's the top 5 matchup base. Bears running backs against the Cardinals. So that would be Deonta Foreman or Khalil Herbert. Ramondre Stevenson or Zeke against the Cowboys, sorry. Aaron Jones against the Panthers. Bijan Robinson or Tyler Algier if it's like last week where Tyler out carries Bijan, which was very frustrating, I'm sure, for a lot of fantasy managers. Against the Colts, Derrick Henry against the Seahawks, and you had a bonus one, so I have a bonus one. Breece Hall against the 25th ranked Commanders. I think if anybody succeeds on that Jets team offensively, it's Breece Hall. But anyways, let's go through these real quick. Bears running backs. Do you trust them?
It's been hard to.
I agree. I mean, with Khalil Herbert, down to Foreman, Roshan Johnson, Justin Fields running the ball, I think there's just too much to go around.
There's a lot. There's too many runners to feed
Agreed.
on our team. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it'll be an easy game for us to run.
Yeah. I agree. I just think it'll be split so much that nobody's going to really have the advantage, or it's going to be the thing you're not going to know who gets that advantage. It could be Roshan. They've been using him more. Could be Deonta Foreman because they use him near the goal line. It could be Khalil. I don't know. And it could be Fields. I think Fields is going to unleash.
I'm hoping. We are always hoping to just see him just do what he does best, which is run.
Ishan says, you think Ty Chandler provides a safe floor with a high upside? I think more so than Joshua Palmer, for sure. Much safer floor. And I still think he has a higher upside than Joshua Palmer. Nick Fortune, not trusting any of the Bears players. I don't trust the running backs just because they split it up too much. Now, Ramondre Stevenson might be back, so it may be his backfield. If he is, and it's split between he and Zeke, I'm a little worried about this matchup. If it's just Zeke, do you like the revenge game against the Cowboys?
I think so. Maybe.
Think so? That's not right. Hang on here.
Do you not have it right?
No, I'm mixed up here because the Cowboys play the Dolphins. Un momento, por favor. Cowboys play the Dolphins. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
This is the 31st ranked Broncos that they're facing, not the Cowboys.
Not the Cowboys.
Yes. So
Get
the
your
31st
info
ranked. Yeah. So Ramondre Stevenson against the Broncos or Zeke against the Broncos. I think if they're both dressed, it's hard because Zeke has played pretty well the past couple weeks while Ramondre has been out. And I think you're going to see a split. If it's just Zeke, I start him. Thoughts?
I think I agree with that. If it is just Zeke. Yeah, but if it's both of them, the split time can be
Agreed.
a little damaging for fantasy.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And then we got the Packers against the Panthers, which is Aaron Jones going to play? Is A.J. Dillon going to play?
I'm not relying on Aaron Jones. I can just tell you right now.
Yeah, I'm not counting on the Packers either. Then we have the Falcons against the Colts. I think if you have Bijan, you have to start him.
You start your studs.
Yeah, even though he got 0.4 last week, he was out carried by double the numbers by Tyler Algier. So let me ask you this. You don't have Bijan, but you have Tyler Algier. Do you start him? I know it's situational, right?
Well, I do. I am looking at Algier for a potential flex spot. And I'm in the same debate where I'm not sure what I'm going to do.
I'm so mad at these cherries.
Okay.
I don't know if the camera caught that, but while I drank that one,
smacked in the face.
Well, it tipped and the stem lightly brushed my nose, and it probably looked like it went right into it. I'm so over these. I think if Tyler Algier, I think he's a flex option. I don't think I want to rely on him.
Well, that's what I'm debating. Yeah. If I'm putting.
Yeah. It's all situational, of course, depending on who you have. How about Derrick Henry at home against the 28th ranked Seahawks? Even though at home he didn't do well last week.
No, because
these are terrible for your best matchups.
These are terrible. And we've just got done talking about how Derrick Henry is kind of
on his way out.
Yes, because Tyjae is doing so good.
Agreed. Yeah, I think you got to start him though. I think you have to start him, and then the Breece Hall.
I think you start Breece. I think your bonus is the start.
Yeah. Out of all these, aside from Bijan, Breece is the one I feel most confident about. All right, let's talk about wide receivers. Go ahead.
All right. So for your best matchups right now for wide receivers, I have Darius Slayton or Wan'Dale Robinson against the Eagles, Garrett Wilson against the Commanders, Stephon Diggs or Davis against the Chargers. And then we have Calvin Ridley or Parker Washington against the Bucks. and AJ Brown or Devonta Smith against the Giants.
All right, let's break them down.
AJ Brown and Stephon Diggs and AJ Brown.
Those are the
obvious. Like
yeah.
we don't even need, like, I'm banking on them. I have them both in the same league.
Right.
To have a great week for me. Like, I need this. They have favorable matchups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't think if you're questioning sitting one of them,
then your lineup's too good, I guess. I'm not trusting starting the Chargers players, Slayton or Wandell.
I don't think I can either.
Yeah, none of those guys have really jumped out all year. Garrett Wilson against the Commanders. I mean, he's obviously the best pass catcher on the Jets, but can you trust the Jets offense aside from Breece Hall? Can you trust Zach Wilson or Trevor Siemian to get him the ball?
I think this is a week for Breece Hall.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I did enjoy last week. Garrett Wilson was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Anyways, Garrett Wilson, very frustrated. He's like bitching on the sidelines, and Aaron Rodgers is just standing there like not really reacting to him at all, just standing there like he can't hear him. It was pretty funny. Mr. Rodgers, who will not play. Calvin Ridley. I don't trust
Parker
him.
Washington.
Yeah, I don't trust him. Parker in a deep league if you're desperate, and same with Calvin, but I would like
you were
options.
So like, just look at where we are now from the beginning of the season. You talked me into going after Ridley.
Yeah.
And let you do that to me.
I know. I don't know. He looks so good. I don't know what happened to him. But that offense, Christian Kirk being out, has killed them. Let's talk about tight ends real quick. Then, Aiden Lee, we will answer your question in a second here.
All right. Do you want me to cover tight ends?
I'll do the tight ends.
Okay.
We got Hunter Henry against the Broncos, Pat Freiermuth against the Bengals, Cade Otton against the Jags, Trey McBride against the Bears, and then Juwan Johnson, or if you're feeling nostalgic, Taysom Hill against the Rams. Hunter Henry, we said he was questionable with that knee injury, but he's been very reliable for Bailey Zappi the past couple weeks. So I think, this is, again, it's all situational, but if you're thinking about Hunter Henry or somebody else that's not named like Travis Kelce or whatever, or Sam Laporta, then I think you start him. Pat Freiermuth. You think Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, or the quarterback,
well, I'm banking. He's the one I'm going to be throwing into the Dynasty League, and I'm just like hoping that it looks brilliant.
Yeah. Love it.
So maybe, he's got to connect with somebody.
Right, exactly. And Pat Freiermuth, ever since he came back from injury, he is a vital part of their offense. It hasn't necessarily equaled a lot of fantasy football points, but I do like that matchup. Cade Otton, I don't know if I'm trusting him because Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are kind of the first and second guys that Baker looks for. Trey McBride, I really like. He, even going against a tougher 49ers unit that have good linebackers, he had 10 catches for over 100 yards on 11 targets.
He is going up against, this is like hard games for him because now he's going up against us, the Bears.
Yeah, which, the Bears defense is good, but the way they run him, he does like a lot of little seam routes, right? So he goes up and out, and the defense that we run, that's going to be open in the middle of the field, just right behind the linebackers. So if Kyler can find him, I think he will have a good game. And then the Saints tonight, Juwan Johnson, Taysom Hill, you trusting him?
I can't. So, like, for me, Taysom Hill is like because he's he's quarterbacking, he's running the ball, he's receiving,
he's so hit and miss.
He's every position on that field, but it's not reliable in fantasy, and I don't want to risk my playoffs with banking on him getting those points.
Yeah, absolutely. Aiden, we're going to answer your question in a second here, but first I got to let you know we're brought to you by Game Time. Game Time's awesome because maybe you didn't have funds to go to the concert when it went on sale or the football game, and now all of a sudden you hit a sweet entry off of Prize Picks and you got the cash for it. So last minute, you want to go to the game or concert, or maybe you want to get it as a Christmas gift. You need a last minute Christmas gift. They are the perfect place to go for last minute tickets. They offer all sorts of things, like you can see a preview of your seat before you buy the ticket, so you don't have to worry about an obstructed view at the football game. And they have the game time guarantee, which means if you go there, you buy your tickets, and then you find tickets in the same row and same section for less, they're crediting you 110% of the difference, which is incredible. They're not doing that because they have to do it a lot. They're offering you the best price, last minute tickets. So just go on to Game Time Tickets. Like I said, it makes the perfect holiday gift. Snag the tickets without stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, just create an account and redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bet's revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value.
Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit a2fbets.com and use code SUPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. And we are back. Aiden Lee says, I have Cup and Puka. Do I replace Puka with DeAndre Swift so that there is not so much writing on the game tonight? That is tough.
That is.
Because it's hard to sit Puka with how good he has been. The Saints do have a decent defense. I understand that. In fact, the Saints are the number 2 defense against the pass, or against wide receivers, I should say. So that does make me nervous. Obviously, you can't sit Cooper Kupp.
No, you can't. Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp.
Start Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
But Puka Nacua is also a stud, and you start studs.
Yeah. My concern with DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
I had DeAndre Swift in the family league, and I had him against Josiah. And Josiah had Jalen Hurts. Can you imagine my face every time Jalen Hurts ran the touchdowns in when they got within the 5 and not DeAndre Swift? That's my concern with DeAndre Swift. He's going to get some yards, but the touchdowns, Jalen Hurts is vulturing every single touchdown from him, it seems like.
Do you think that means he's going to get one this week? Or do you think he's still going to vulture it?
The other thing that concerns me, a little betting angle here, Boston Scott on the Eagles has scored a touchdown against the Giants, I want to say 7 games in a row. He's not a starting running back. He never has been their starting running back. But against the Giants, he scored a touchdown 7 games in a row against them. Therefore, there's another guy you've got to worry about vulturing to keep this streak alive, because obviously that's a trend.
I think starting Puka over Swift is a safer option.
I agree.
And if you're in the playoffs and you need to be safe, then I think that's what you do.
Yeah, I agree with that. So hopefully that helps out, Aiden. And thanks for checking in. We appreciate it. Do we want to talk a little bit of sits? Who made the shit list? No, it's not a shit list this week. It's just the toughest matchups.
Yeah, it's not like normal. We went just like we did with the starts with the easiest. These quarterbacks have the hardest matchups this week. So let's go through those and then talk about, would you actually sit them? Number 1, we've got Brock Purdy versus the Ravens. We have Lamar Jackson going against the 49ers, Jordan Love and the Panthers, Sam Howell against the Jets, and Case Keenum against the Browns. It's not a name I expected to have to say this week.
I know, right? There's a lot of weird quarterback matchups this week. I mean, and not if you heard Case Keenum was going against Joe Flacco, you would have thought that those teams were out of the playoff race. But they're not.
No.
The same as if you would have heard Gardner Minshew is going against Taylor Heineke, you would have thought, oh, Colts Falcons have given up. But they're not.
Do we know how many quarterbacks, how many different quarterbacks have started this year?
I'll have to look it up.
Because last year it was 64. 64 quarterbacks started.
And I know, like, what, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we were at 50 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
so we're
it's
going to
crazy.
get close.
Like, that doesn't happen.
Right. Agreed. Let's start with Brock Purdy.
Let's make a bet first.
Bet.
Over or under 64 quarterbacks starting by the end of the season?
Over.
Yeah.
It's a hard bet since I don't know what the number is
I know I don't know what the number is now either.
Nick's going to look it up for us.
Yes, thank you, Nick. Look it up.
He didn't say that. I'm telling.
Okay.
Thank you, Nick.
Well, is that information you can just Google? Didn't we?
Yeah, that's where I found it.
You Googled it?
Yeah.
Wow. Somebody's keeping track of that out there. I wanted to keep track of that, but time got away from me this year.
Well, let's break these quarterbacks down. Nick says, "What am I looking up?" Nick, look up. Just Google how many quarterbacks have started this year. Have started a game this year. Let's start with Brock Purdy against the Ravens. MVP candidate, front runner MVP, Brock Purdy. Can you bench him? No, I don't think so either.
And so he has the hardest matchup for quarterbacks this week, but I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, I don't think you can bench him. Same with Lamar Jackson. You don't bench Lamar.
I think
every time your dad benched Lamar in the family league, he was pissed about it. Granted, he was pissed a lot of times. He started him too, but they've been playing a lot better. So I don't think you benched Lamar either.
I want to skip Love and go to Sam Howell, because I do have to start him.
Ooh.
In a couple leagues.
That's not good. I was asked this question today by your uncle. It was Justin Fields, Sam Howell. I don't remember what the other one was. I think the Commanders have given up on Ron Vera. I don't think they believe in him as their coach anymore. I think the players are giving up. Last week, Sam Howell was benched for Jacoby Brissett in the middle of the game. Does that concern you?
It does.
Yeah.
I am concerned.
So he's the only start if you absolutely have to, in my opinion.
Well, I don't have him I do have him in one of my playoff games. Hold on. I need to verify this.
While you're verifying that, I would not start Jordan Love against the number 3 Panthers defense. And then Case Keenum, I mean, he looked good last week. They obviously won the game in overtime. You don't have him?
I do have him, but not in a playoff league.
Gotcha.
I didn't make all
right.
Got out last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Case Keenum, I wouldn't trust him. I think he played all right. He had a really good connection with Noah Brown, but we've seen it so many times. That first week a quarterback starts, they come in and they do really well.
They come in hot.
Yeah, and I don't even know if they knew, the Titans defense knew that they were going to be playing Case Keenum. Everything I heard, it was going to be Davis Mills. I almost said Davis Webb. Not Davis Webb. Davis Mills. And then all of a sudden it was like Case Keenum's going to start. So that's part of that. Now the Browns have been able to prep for that. So, yeah, I don't trust him. So the only ones on this list we trust are Purdy and Jackson.
Yes.
Yeah. Nick said 56 different quarterbacks have currently started.
Okay, so do we think 8 more? No.
There's 3 more weeks.
3 more weeks. Do we think 8 different quarterbacks are going to start? I'm going under. You're taking the over. You already said the over. I'm taking the under.
I'm taking the over because here's the deal. All of a sudden, let's say...
Don't jinx people.
No, all of a sudden, this is not for the playoff. If your playoffs run into week 18, you need to talk with your commissioner.
Okay, you're saying...
I'm saying Ravens, let's say they have the number 1 seed locked up. Why start Lamar? Start Tyler Huntley.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So you're saying those teams that are locked in...
Yeah, the week 18
are going to sit their starters because that makes sense. It won't impact their...
Yeah, when we...
Well, I already took the under.
Yep, you got to stick to it.
Shit, I took the under. Before I really thought. You can't make me think that, like...
I won't make you think.
This was...
It's you.
We just said we came into this podcast with square wheels.
I know, and we're leaving it with those 2.
So that tells you how...
Yes.
I'm ready for the holidays. Wheels. I'm so ready for the holidays.
Same. Even tonight, we're thinking if we get enough done, we're going to celebrate our own Christmas tonight.
I have to go back to work tonight.
I know. I got to go to the grocery store. I know. Time's running out, but...
I don't have to work in the morning, though. So
Nick is taking the under, and he's betting me a bottle of whiskey. Nick, normally I wouldn't take that, but I like you, so I'm gonna. There we go.
What kind of whiskey? What bottle?
I don't know. We'll talk about that after.
No, this is a serious
Nick,
bet.
what kind of bottle? Name a price range. Before I talk about running backs, speaking of whiskey, I did want to remind everybody that our listener league was sponsored by Keeper's Heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
we
down
need to talk about, let's talk about these playoffs. We have not brought it back to the listener league enough this
I know.
season.
Well, that's why I'm doing it right now. Unfortunately, the distiller from Keeper's Heart that was in our listener league, Kate, is out. And
she gets that whiskey every day.
Right. And Adam, who wanted it for his bachelor party, is also out.
Adam, we can hook him up.
So
can we not hook him up?
If they ship there, we certainly can. So we're down to Cody Zeeb against
Cody. He is in 62 leagues.
Yeah.
Do I have this right? And you were in
he made
playoffs.
the playoffs in 2. I'm just kidding.
Well, isn't he? He's in the playoffs of 2 that we know of.
3, I think,
3?
that we know of. Maybe
Cody, will you let me know? Even though I have not texted you back.
Still?
I'm ashamed.
Wasn't this like 7 weeks ago?
I'm ashamed. You don't know. He doesn't know my life. He knows some of my life.
Yeah, Cody.
Okay, what was I saying? Oh, I want to know how many leagues you made the playoffs in because you are hardcore.
Yeah, what's your advanced percentage, I believe they call it.
Of your 62, are you over 50% in the playoffs? Because you're in the playoffs in all leagues except one that I'm in with him.
All right.
Like, he didn't make the playoffs in our league, right?
He did, but he's out.
Oh, he did, but he's out.
Yeah, he lost, I think, to RD.
Okay.
Or you lost to RD. He lost to Connor. Christian.
Let's not talk about it.
Anyways, so Keeper's Heart League. We got Cody against Mr. Zaccavello, who we know is a whiskey fan, big-time whiskey fan. And then we have Jared, who's a Packer fan. Boo, Jared. Just kidding. Against some guy, FF. Mm-hmm. And that'll be a good matchup, too. Those guys, they both are very involved within the fantasy football community. And, yeah, winner of those 2 matchups advanced to the championship.
Can you tell us where we landed in our fantasy league or our listener league?
Well, we had a bye week for the toilet bowl because we were so bad.
We were so bad, guys.
We were the 11th team.
I don't know why.
We could never draft together again.
No, it was so bad. So we need to do, I don't know. I want to do, we should do like a guillotine listener league too. And that way we have our own, I don't know.
I actually wouldn't mind doing multiple listener leagues. I thought about
and then I run one, you run one or something.
We can do that, something like that. But
we can't, we just can't choose and draft together. Clearly it doesn't work. Together. That is not our strong suit, drafting together.
Agreed. Anyways, we do go against Matty Moe this week for the toilet bowl. And then FF Bourbon Dude, Mr. Stickler, who was the 12th seed, goes against another distiller from the Foundry Distillery, Brandon. Yeah, so that'll be interesting. We're going to talk about running backs in a second. Let's answer this question from Alex. Start 2, Bijan, Cooper Kupp, Devin Singletary, Aaron Jones, T. Higgins, or James Conner. Wanting to start Kupp, but Saints defense is amazing, and I know I should trust Bijan, but it's getting rough. I agree.
I think you start Coop.
Kupp?
Cooper Kupp. Coop.
Start your Coop.
I was trying to read over there as I'm saying Kupp. But you start Cooper Kupp.
And I know it's been tough trusting Bijan. Arthur Smith is a terrible coach, but the Colts are very susceptible to the run, so I think you have to start Bijan. And I think Arthur Smith probably got a lot of shit from people after he didn't give Bijan, and not just like fantasy football managers like ourselves, but I'm talking ownership. Like, hey, we spent a first-round draft pick on this guy. You need to give him the fucking ball. Mm-hmm. Like, if I was the owner, I would be chewing Arthur Smith's ass out for that. So I think you got to go with Bijan because of the matchup. And then Cooper Kupp, I know it's a tough matchup, but you got to start your studs. The only other one I would consider there is T. Higgins because Jamar Chase being out, but I still like Cooper Kupp and Bijan best. Agreed? Mm-hmm. Nick says it's a $30 to $50 range whiskey, but it has to either be at the Winterset liquor store or the Adele liquor store.
So when you walk in and whatever they have is what they have.
That's right. All right, let's talk about running backs. Hardest matchups for running backs. Saquon Barkley goes against the #1 Eagles. Do I sit him this week? Because last week I didn't listen to you. And I started him. And maybe I should have. So what do you say this week? Toughest defense as far as running back fantasy football points.
Do you think he has a comeback game from his poor performance? No.
I don't know.
I don't know if you start him.
All right.
I know who you shouldn't sit.
CMC against the number 2 Ravens. Is that who
Yes.
should not sit? I agree.
Yeah.
Gus Edwards against the Niners. Keaton Mitchell is out for the season with that torn ACL, which means Gus should have some more carries. I don't know if you can trust him against the Niners, though. Ty Chandler against the Lions, but I like.
Just got done talking about him and his upside, even though he has a hard matchup this week.
Agreed. And then Jonathan Taylor back against the number 5 Falcons.
What do you do
Can
there?
Trust him?
I don't know if I. What do you do?
You know what? I think you start him. The Colts have been very good running the ball, and it hasn't mattered if it's Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss. Last week it was rookie Tyler Goodson out of Iowa. No matter who's carrying the rock, they've been very good at running the ball. So I think even though it's against a tough defense, Steichen's going to have this team running the ball well. Gardner Minshew needs the pressure taken off of him by them running the ball. Plus, Taylor's going to catch it out of the backfield. I think you go with Taylor. I think you start him.
All right.
That's my thoughts.
Do you get a question?
Yeah. Jay Cutler. Oh, it's not Jay Cutler. Maybe it's Jay Cutler. I don't know.
Is it? Wouldn't you? Never mind.
It's
I was
just
going to say
Jay.
something crazy inappropriate.
Oh, okay. Jay says Cleveland or Eagles defense. Eagles play the Giants. Cleveland plays the Texans. Eagles defense has not been very good. Browns has been very good. Because of that and going against Case Keenum.
I was just going to say, because Case Keenum has a very tough matchup going against the Browns, I would start them over
the
Eagles.
Agreed. And then Monty or Chandler, if Madison is out, I think you got to go David Montgomery. The Lions have a good matchup against the Vikings, and they're just going to pound the rock. The Vikings blitz, I think, more than any other team. Jared Goff, not good against the blitz. They're going to have to run the ball to take that pressure off of him. So I think 100% they're going to run the ball. I realized that we got hosed last week when they kept giving it to Gibbs for the touchdowns.
Yes.
Pissed me off. You could have, if you had been in my house, you would have heard me bitching about it over and over. Not Gibbs again.
Can confirm.
Yeah, can confirm. She can confirm. But I think you got to go with Monty. Thanks for checking in, Jay. And if you are Jay Cutler, let us know. Showing. You want to talk about
Justin
wide
will be
receivers?
sliding into your DMs.
That's right.
ASAP.
Yeah, thanks for checking in, Jay. Wide receivers?
Yeah,
wanna talk about
you
them?
ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. We've got Terry McLaurin against the Jets, Cup and Puka Nacua. We've already talked about them against the Saints. They have the second hardest matchup, but I don't think that impacts. I'm already jumping the gun here. I don't think it impacts their startability. And then we have Collins and Brown against the Browns, Reed and Watson against the Panthers, and Waddle and Hill against the Cowboys.
Shall we break it down?
Let's break this down.
All right, start with one.
Start with Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, and Curtis Samuel. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm trusting it.
I think that team's given up. Like I said earlier, I think they've given up on Ron. So I don't know if I trust anybody on their team right now. So
going again, and they having the hardest matchup there. I think that there are better options, and you should look for them.
Yeah. Now, don't get silly with it. Like, if you have Terry McLaurin and he's been your wide receiver too, and you're like, well, they said he's not good, so I'm going to throw in
Gabe
Davis. Well, I could make an argument for Gabe Davis because his games kind of go like this, and last week I believe it was down. So
maybe it's going up.
But don't be like, well, I think I'm going to throw in Demarcus Robinson or Ben Skowronek or something like that. All I can think of is Rams players, obviously. Jamison Williams. Yeah, don't be silly and like throw somebody like that in. Just saying, if it's between like, Terry McLaurin or
DJ Chark.
Yeah, or Adam Thielen. Maybe you want to play Adam Thielen instead. All right, let's talk about the next guys. Cup and Puka against the Saints.
Starting, we just
so.
told somebody to start both of them, and I'm sticking to that. So
think about it this way. I mean, the Ravens defense, very good defense, right? The Rams put up a lot of points on them. The Browns defense, the Rams were able to take advantage of them. Stafford And Sean McVay and that offense with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua are rolling.
Mhm.
They're one of the hottest teams in football on offense
They don't
right now.
have square wheels.
They do not have square wheels like us. Absolutely. So I agree. And shout out to Chris. He says that Demarcus Robinson and Jimmy Graham are scoring tonight. We'll see. We will see. It's what year is it? We got Joe Flacco as a guy that is startable. We have
Case
Jimmy
Keenum.
Graham. Yeah, Case Keenum. We got Jimmy Graham scoring touchdowns. We got Ezekiel Elliott leading the backfield. What? I don't know what's happening. Let's talk about the guys with the third ranked. We got Nico Collins, who may not play. So keep that. Noah Brown had a big game last week, but would you start him against the Browns? Noah Brown versus Browns.
No, I'm not starting Noah Brown. No, if
Same.
Collins plays.
You like Case Keenum to Nico Collins?
No.
Because Stroud will be out again.
I
sounds
know.
like.
No, I don't think I'm trusting it.
I'm not either. All right. Next one is the Packers receivers, who are also not very healthy.
Mm-mm.
Agreed.
And Love has a tough matchup.
Yeah. Agreed.
Wait, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Panthers are very
Jeez.
very good defense against the pass. And then Hill and
I'm already
Waddle.
second guessing what I've already been talking about. Instilling confidence in our listeners.
Right.
It's been a week.
Chris says we've entered the twilight zone. I agree.
Mhm.
We need the dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo-dee-doo noise. You can't sit Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
Mm-mm. Absolutely not.
And it does sound like Tyreek will play. I think, like we discussed last week, they sat him because they knew where they could get the win. So, yeah, you got to start him. Tight ends. I'm going to roll through them. We got Noah Fant against the Titans. Hopefully, you are not relying on starting Noah Fant either way. That's what I would say. Don't start him. If you're relying on Noah Fant, you probably aren't in the semifinals. Dalton Schultz against the Browns. He had a good week last week. But again, Browns, Case Keenum, it's going to be a tough day for them. And then the Broncos, do you trust any Broncos tight end? Adam Troutman, maybe? I don't think so. He goes against the third-ranked defense against tight ends, Patriots. Here's a tough one for me. Isaiah Likely against the 49ers, because Isaiah Likely has been playing very well.
He has been.
Making good catches. Lamar's been finding him.
That's a tough matchup.
It is a tough matchup. I have a league where it's between him and this next guy, Cole Kmet, against also tied for fourth against the tight end against the Cardinals. So, which one would you pick?
In that instance, I don't know. That's a hard one. I kind of want to go Kmet.
Kmet?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go Likely.
You're going Likely?
I do. When I think about it, I think the Ravens are probably going to have to pass the ball a little bit more. Cardinals not good against the run.
So
49ers good against the run. So we're going to be running the ball.
We're going to be running more.
They're going to be passing more. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Likely.
I still think that's a difficult. I understand what you're saying.
Chris thinks Njoku could be a sneaky good pick this week to start. I agree. He had a hell of a game against the Bears. It looks like him and Flacco were getting on the same page. So, yeah, absolutely agree with that one. What else you got? A big sigh?
A big sigh.
A big sigh.
A big sigh. I don't know. I just don't know if I am liking your Likely pick.
You don't know if you're liking my Likely?
Yeah.
You don't know. Is it likely he has a bad day?
I think it's likely he has a bad day.
I think it is likely. Shout out to Haley, who just joined on Instagram. What's up, Haley? It's our first live stream to Instagram.
It is.
Seems like it's not blowing up yet, so that's good. Since the
last week it didn't work.
It did work. You
cut it off. You ended it.
I did.
We were live for 3 seconds on Insta last week. And then you're like, oh, this isn't working. And you panic shut down.
So we play our intro music and I cue off of that to jump in with the welcome. Well, that's through my computer, playing through my computer. And all of a sudden, the Instagram started playing through my computer. So it was definitely like throwing me. It was delayed and I panicked and just hit the X button.
I think that we didn't just come into today with square wheels.
This week.
We were just rolling on square wheels all week.
It's a little bit of a longer weekend.
Mhm.
Monday, I drove 6 hours to go to the niece and nephew's concert, got home late. So, yeah, I think we were both
We drove
tired.
6 hours on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was an emotional day on Sunday.
Yes.
It's been a difficult week. We crawled here. We got here.
We crawled on our square tires. Justin Bruni joining on Insta as well. What's up?
Hello.
And Haley says, hi, friends. Hi, Haley. How's it going? You joined just in time for us to end, I think, because
Pretty much, unless we get some more listener questions coming in.
Yeah.
But we got through. This was I don't know. It's a struggle.
we
this
are
week.
ready for the break, the holiday break. On that note, we hope you have a wonderful holiday, extended weekend, hopefully. Get some time with family or friends or both.
We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming, a lot on the schedule.
Yeah, we do have a lot on the schedule. Starting with, we will not be live for waivers on Christmas Day. Sorry, we are taking that
We
time.
will be here for waivers on Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday we will do that. Thursday, regular start sit show.
Last waiver and whiskey and waivers of the season.
Oh my goodness, of the year.
Of the season.
We won't get to do waivers until next year after Tuesday. You're already dreading me starting those jokes, are you not?
Well, it's coming. I have to prepare myself for this every year because you almost make me dread New Year's. Because I will, for the whole month of January, I haven't done this since last year. Every new thing. We haven't done this since last year.
Exactly. And it's funny every time, right?
No.
Well, I disagree. What was I going to say? Oh, January 3rd, we have our 100th episode. We're going to have guests and have a lot of fun. So make sure you
Some
join for that.
blind tasting of 100 proofs.
Yeah, it could get out of control. I went through and we have, I think, 12
We
100
have
proofs.
to. We already decided.
I said
We're
we
not
do them
going.
all.
No, we are not drinking 12 different whiskeys on the show. We're not
Why?
going through that. We're not doing that.
Chicken. And then the 10th, we have the NASCAR Gambling Podcast Old Fashioned Football crossover episode. We're going to be talking a little fantasy football, a little
Trying
racing.
a special whiskey.
Trying a special whiskey that was hand selected by the Alfa Romeo team, which is F1 racing, and they'll tell us all about that. And they're going to talk about Jack Wood. He's a truck driver, truck racing driver,
Okay.
but his name is Jack Wood, and I just find that a very hilarious name. Yes, I'm I don't know, a little boy, not a little boy, my frat boy mind, I guess, says Jack Wood. He got made fun of a lot. What's up, Trey? He says, evening, lady and gents. A couple of questions. Dak or Hurts?
You gotta go Hurts.
Ooh, I was going to go Dak against the
Hurts.
Dolphins. So we're split there.
Mm-hmm.
Full PPR flex 1. Olave, Achan, Saquon, or Swift? Saquon's got a tough matchup.
Swift, we just talked
about
We just talked about how he's getting his touchdown stolen from him.
From Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Achan, he's kind of been sit 1, not flex 1.
Oh.
This makes it easier. Achan, I just feel like has been a little bit limited because of that injury, so that worries me against the Cowboys.
Can you read those off again one more time? I can't read.
Yeah, we got Olave, Achan, Saquon, and Swift. I think you sit Achan. I know it's tough for that Dolphins offense.
Are you biased because you have to start Swift and Saquon?
No. I just think that Mostert is the top dog in that backfield. The Cowboys a tough defense to run the ball against. And so I think they're going to limit them anyways. And then it seems like Achan's been on a little bit of a pitch count since coming back from that injury. So because of that, I would say Achan.
I actually do have to agree with you. I just need to.
Yeah.
Don't want to say.
You hear this? Happy holidays to you as well, Trey. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
It's interesting. I was notified from StreamYard that Instagram would end after an hour. We're just on the top of an hour and it hasn't ended yet. So good on that. You have anything else you want to add?
No. Oh,
sorry.
Geez.
The crossover.
You scared me.
Thank you for checking. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that stuff. I didn't mean to scare you. I was saying we got the NASCAR crossover episode. That's going to be a lot of fun talking with them. I'm looking forward to it. There's going to be, like I said, some fantasy talk. And then if you don't know racing or NASCAR, like I don't know, you don't know, these guys are going to give us a little bit of preview of some of the best bets. Maybe you want to go out and bet some because you're bored. There's no football. They're going to help you out with that. I can tell you I have won money listening to them. They are very good at what they do. To me, it's just drivers going around in a left turn, but, they are able to predict it far better than I thought anybody would be able to. And then January 17th, we will be trying our first scotch on the show.
Thanks to Karen.
Yes, Karen has requested it. And
I didn't
apologize.
see Karen today.
No Karen today.
But she has been honest about trying a scotch on our show.
Yes.
She recommended quite the list, right?
Yes, I have it right here.
List.
I didn't lose it.
We are going to go shopping after the new year for scotch. We've never bought scotch before. And we will try scotch for you on the show.
Scotch. And then in February, we will have Balcones out of Texas.
We tried
distillery.
their their rye.
Yeah. Speaking of
months
Haley,
ago.
who's on our Insta, Josh and Haley are the ones that bought that for us.
Yes, they bought that. Well, Josh and Haley, you brought us Balcones, and now we'll bring you more Balcones.
That's right. Yeah, we're going to have them on the show and talk about their distillery, the historic building that they're in. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And we'll have some more distilleries on. We'll start working on that and some other guests. Yeah. That's all I got for today.
Right.
Is that all you got for today?
It is. You did not finish your old fashioned.
I tried to slow down from last time. I feel like maybe I talked a lot this time. I don't know. But my old fashioned is almost gone. Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Old-fashioned football.